We are in the top of the second inning here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park between the Cougars and the Dolphins. We apologize for the delay of the stream as we were having some technical issues, but we are now live here in the top of the second inning, a scoreless first for both teams. It's count 1-1. Ryan Keough on the mound for the Dolphins today. So we got to do the lineups in just a little bit. There's a swing and strike to make the count now 1-2. One, two, chopped up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. So it will be a leadoff single for the Cougars here in the top of the second, as they tally on their first hit of the game. That was Liam Lombardi that had the leadoff single to start the inning. As Keough makes a pickoff attempt at first base. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nicholas Pavona. I will be bringing you the action between the Cougars and the Dolphins today. As that one's foul behind. Count goes to even to 1-1. So these two teams played just last week here at the stadium. Count now goes to 2-1. For those looking for the live stats, we are currently having an issue there. So for now, we are keeping score in-house here at the stadium. Count now is 3-1. Dolphins obviously coming off a pair of wins on Sunday against Holy Family. Second one being a walk-off winner, as Keough's pickoff attempt to first base not in time. To mention, these two teams played just last week here at the stadium. The Dolphins winning that game 7-1. As Keough made another pickoff attempt. Game in which the Dolphins were able to force 3 balks on the Cougars. Take advantage. Runner is going. Lombardi now goes to second. And it does not matter as there's a walk. So the Cougars early on with first and second, nobody away here in the top of the second. As Christopher Bayo now comes up to the plate. Conference behind the plate. The last batter for the Cougars was Michael Cruz. Cruz on our roster originally listed as 9, but sporting number 33 as he had that last week again when these two teams met. There's a strike 0-1. Ryan Keough once again getting the start for the Dolphins. Martin's in for them as almost thrown over the backstop. Good play by the Dolphin catcher. As Michael Keough, Ryan's brother, saved that from being a wild pitch. And forced in second and third. Dolphins do have the corners in. As that one misses to now make the count 2-1. Just last week, Keogh faced this same Caldwell lineup. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, 12 strikeouts. And Dolphins 7-1 win. So that one blooped in the air, and that will be caught by Michael Keogh to record the first out of the inning. An all-important first out for Ryan Keogh right there. Now a double play ball away, getting out of the inning. As Oscar Fajardo now comes up to the plate. His first pitch taken for a ball, 1-0. Half swing, call for a strike to even the count now at 1. One. Swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. Dolphins, since returning from their Myrtle Beach trip, have won 3 straight. Looking to make it 4 in a row today. And improve their mark to 5-4 on the season. As Ryan Keogh now 1 strike away from getting the second out of the inning. His 1-2 misses a little bit high. Now count goes to 2-2. Two from Keogh. Inside for ball 3. So count out goes full 3-2. We'll have to see maybe if the Cougars decide to run here on the 3-2 pitch. It is a dangerous spot if they were to run. Let's see what they do. They do not run. 3-2. Misses high and inside for ball 4. And the Cougars now will have the bases loaded with 1 away. So I mentioned Keogh had 4 walks in the Dolphins' last start against the Cougars. He's now issued his second of the inning. And the Dolphins now will have a mound visit. Bases loaded, 1 away. Once again, the double play ball does get the Dolphins out of the jam. Batter now up for the Cougars here is going to be Sean Brown. What a spot for him right here. The shortstop has bases loaded, 1 away. This takes 1 in for a ball, 1-0. One hit into right field territory, but it's going to go foul. Count now goes to 1-2. Cougars, for them, this is their second game of the season. They have not played a game since they faced the Dolphins last Friday here at the stadium. Trying to reenact some revenge and even their record of 1-1 in the year. They could pick up the win today. Last time these two met, Sean Brown went 0 for 3 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. He's down the count here 1-2. It's a chopper to third. Going to be a tough play for Weigel to go to home. He'll have to throw it to first. Gets it in time. Run does score for Caldwell, and they have an early 1-0 lead. So Brown hit it in the perfect spot to bring home that runner from third base, as Weigel had realistically no chance to make the throw to the plate. And his only play was to first base. Cougars take an early 1-0 lead here in the second. Now 2 away in the inning. So that brings up Stephen Young Jr., the right fielder. Takes an early strike 0-1. Misses on the outside. Count goes to 1-1. One from Keogh. And that was strike 3. So the count was 0-2. So apologies for that. We had the wrong strike count on the board. But that is strike 3 for Ryan Keogh. So he does get out of the jam. So Dolphins do squander a run, but they do get out of the inning just giving up that 1 run. We'll now go into the bottom of the second inning, as Caldwell leads this one 1-0.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experience as possible.
Bottom of the second inning here. Staten Island University Hospital, Community Park. A.J. Vigliotti will lead it off for the Dolphins. Takes that first pitch for a ball, 1-0. That one's in there for a strike. Evens the count of 1. John Regas, the pitcher for the Cougars today. So he's now behind the count 2-1 to A.J. Vigliotti. That one misses again, so the count goes 3-1 early on. Vigliotti, the designated hitter for the Dolphins today. And he takes that one for ball 4. So the Dolphins getting a leadoff walk to start the inning. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Thomas Martin. Martin takes that one for a ball. You saw in game 1 between the Dolphins and the Tigers. Dolphins able to draw 12 walks in their 11-4 game 1 victory over Holy Family. Thomas Martin quickly works himself to a 2-0 count right there. In the meeting with Caldwell last week, the Dolphins were able to draw 7 walks. And they are 1 pitch away right here from issuing another one, as it's a 3-0 count for Martin. Dolphins went down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first inning. They get a leadoff walk here to start the second. And a 1 pitch away from having first and second, nobody out. That one's in there for a strike, now 3-1. And check Vigliotti at first. And that one misses for ball 4. So early on, the Dolphins with 2 straight walks to start the inning. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Anthony Cetera. Cetera was a key part of the Dolphins' win against Holy Family this past week. Also had a pretty solid day at the plate against Caldwell last Friday. 2 for 4 with an RBI in that one. An RBI chance for him right here. Does lay down the bunt as it misses for a ball 1-0. So Dolphins second baseman trying to move both runners into scoring position with the bunt right here. CSI trying to tie the game here in the early stages of this one. 1-0. Cetera shows bunt again on the outside. Good play behind the plate by Bayo as he kept it in front. Runners do not advance, and the count goes to 2-0. Two and 0 count for Cetera here. He'll show bunt again. This one is laid down. Throw on to first base from the first baseman Saunders onto the second baseman Little. As there's one away now. Dolphins do, though, advance both runners now into scoring position. So a very well-placed bunt by the second baseman Cetera. And now with a base hit right here, the Dolphins can take the lead. That's going to bring up Vincent Weigel here, who gets to start at third base. Huge opportunity for him right here. Base hit into the outfield will give the Dolphins not only the first hit, but the lead. That's off of the pitcher. Going to be a tough play for Brown at short. And a great scoop at first base from Saunders. Dolphins do get the run in. They will tie this game at 1. Very tough play at shortstop. As Sean Brown, that went off of the pitcher, Regas. And Brown had to scoop it up with his hand. And it was a low throw, but a great scoop by Saunders at first base. There's now 2 away in the inning. It's Michael Palermo now up for the Dolphins. Try to relay that the Dolphins still do not have a hit. Have to relay that in a minute. Martin gets a big lead at third. Ball in the dirt. He'll go back. Count goes to 3-0. Palermo scoring the game-winning run of the Dolphins' 1-0 win against Holy Family on Sunday. Got an infield single in the 7th. Advanced to second on a stolen base. This takes a strike now. Go 3-1. And then 2 pitches later would score on a walk-off RBI single by Nicholas Rodriguez, who's up next for the Dolphins. 3-1. In there for a strike to now make the count full at 3-2. (3-2) to Palermo. Swung on and missed, but did get a piece of it, so goes behind the backstop for foul. So count will remain 3-2. Another 3-2 is inside, and that will go for ball 4. So Palermo extends the inning for the Dolphins. And that'll bring up Game 2's hero, Nicholas Rodriguez, up to the plate. Rodriguez with a game-winning RBI single into right center field, sending Palermo home and sending the Dolphins home with a sweep of that doubleheader against the Holy Family on Sunday. Palermo goes to second here on the stolen base attempt, and it'll be cut off by the second baseman Little. So a stolen base right there for Palermo. And now a single right here for Rodriguez would bring home both runners. That one in there for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. One in the dirt on the outside now, 2-1. Top of the lineup up next for the Dolphins if they can extend the inning. It'll be a 2-1 to Rodriguez. Again in the dirt. 3-1 now the count. So 3-1 count to Rodriguez. Walk not necessarily the worst thing for the Cougars right here with the open base, and they will gab that open base no more as Rodriguez works a walk. And the Dolphins now have the bases loaded for the leadoff hitter, the catcher, Michael Keogh. Sparks and mound visit now for the Cougars right here. Third walk of the inning issued by the Dolphins. So early high pitch count for Rodriguez right here. And we're going to have a pitching change. So an early on pitching change coming up right here for the Cougars. So an early exit for Rodriguez right there. So while we have this pitching change, we're going to send it to a commercial break. We'll try to get who the pitcher for the Cougars is coming up right here. Dolphins will have the bases loaded with 2 away. Game tied at 1 apiece.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
So we've been given word that Alfonso Esposito is now the pitcher here for the Cougars here. And the bottom of the second. We saw Esposito pitch in the last game between these two teams. He came in a relief of Brandon Scalisi. In relief, he went 3 1/3, allowed 4 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, 1 strikeout. He also was credited with 2 balks in that game. And he cannot afford one right here with coming in with a bases loaded 2-out jam. and out of the way, obviously, from getting out of the inning. The game now tied at 1 apiece. Michael Keogh, as I mentioned, will be the next Dolphin come to plate. In the next half inning, I'll give you the Caldwell lineup. Eventually, we had having technical issues with our live stats, so everything is pen and paper today here in terms of scoring. So here goes Michael Keogh, the Dolphin catcher. Once again, batting leadoff. Apologize for that camera issue right there. Should be good to go again. It'll be the first batter Alfonso Esposito faces here out of relief. Early pitching change for the Cougars. Bases loaded, 2 away, game tied at 1. That one misses for a ball, 1-0. That one misses high now, and quickly a 2-0 count for Michael Keogh right here. Two-0. That one in there for a strike now, 2-1. And that one misses on the outside. So Keogh has a 3-1 count. He's one pitch away from walking in. Or I should say Esposito is now one pitch away from walking in the go-ahead run. That one in there for a strike. So full count, 2 away, bases loaded. Every runner will go for the Dolphins right here. Walk will bring home the go-ahead run. Here go the runners, the 3-2. That one hit into right field. Is it going to stay fair? It does not. Goes into the seats for a foul ball. So another 3-2 coming up. Dolphins once again will go on the next pitch. Another 3-2 from Esposito. And that one misses on the outside for ball 4. And the Dolphins will take a 2-1 lead. 4th walk they've drawn in the inning. And Esposito coming out of the bullpen issues the go-ahead walk for the Dolphins, giving them now a 2-1 lead. Dolphins still searching for their first hit of the game. We saw against Holy Family. Dolphins scored their first run without even getting a hit. Their first hit of the game came from Owen Weber. As that one was fouled back from Burkhead, 0-1. Weber's 2-run single gave the Dolphins, at that point, not only their first hit of the game, but gave them the lead, and they would not squander that lead the rest of the way. They scored 11 unanswered runs. That one hit down the third base line and past the diving shortstop for a base hit. 1 run will score. Here comes the second run. Rodriguez is in. 2-run single from Brian Burkhead. Dolphins get their first hit of the game, and they take a 4-1 lead. A scorcher between the third baseman and the shortstop right there, and a tough play for the shortstop, Sean Brown, as he tried to dive to keep the ball from going into the outfield. Had no chance, and the Dolphins, with an early 4 spot here in the second, now take a 4-1 lead. Chris Polomini now coming up, the Dolphins center fielder. First and second, 2 away. We'll get a replay in a second. That last Dolphins hit, that's a grounder second. Throw from Little onto short in time to retire the side. So the Dolphins do leave 2 runners on base here in the bottom of the second, but not before they score 4 runs on just their lone hit. Before we go to break, we'll show you that last hit that they got. A 2-run single from the Dolphin left fielder Brian Burkhead past the diving shortstop, bringing home 2 runs and now giving his team a 4-1 lead as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. Top of the 3rd inning here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. Dolphins scoring 4 runs in that bottom of the 2nd inning, and now taking a 4-1 lead here going into the top of the 3rd. As the Cougars will have the top of the order leading off here in the top of the 3rd. That one down the first base line, foul. Cougars lineup as follows will be Malik Little. He's the starting second baseman. He'll lead it off. Batting second, the center fielder, number 11, Christian Patino Jr. Batting third at first base, number 8, Zach Saunders. Batting fourth in left field, number 7, Liam Lombardi. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 33, Michael Cruz. Mrs. Hyde now 2-1. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 25, Christopher Bayo. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 23, Oscar Fajardo. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 5, Sean Brown. As that one misses high now, 3-1. And batting ninth for the Cougars is the right fielder, number 2, Stephen Young Jr. Little now has a 3-1 count on Keogh right here as he swings. Maybe got a piece of that one. Went off of the mask of Keogh. Now makes the count full at 3-2. Last time these two met, Little was 0 for 3. Scored the lone run for the Cougars. Did have a walk in that game as well. He's got a 3-2 count right here. Trying to get a walk right here. As he hits this one right back to Kehoe. And he'll flip it on to Martin in time for the first out of the inning. Nice play by the Dolphin pitcher right there. So one away in the inning. That brings up the center fielder, Christian Patino Jr. He went 1 for 4 the last time these two met. Takes a first pitch ball, 1-0. That one hit right back towards us. Foul, 1-1. One swung on and miss. Keogh threw it right past Patino, and now it's 1-2. So 1-2 count now for Keogh right here, looking for a strikeout. Thought he had him on that breaking ball. This is a little bit inside now, 2-2. Next half inning, we'll give you the Dolphins lineup. 2-2 now the count for Keogh. And swung on and missed, strike three. Down goes Patino Jr., and there's now 2 away in the inning. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Zach Saunders, here with 2 away. He was 1 for 4 in the contest last week between the Cougars and the Dolphins. Try to extend the inning here. Takes the first pitch on the outside for a ball, 1-0. That one fouled back behind the plate. 1-1. That one is ripped into center field. Long run for Polomini, and he gets the play. A beautiful job in center field from Polomini as he had to track that one down. Saunders gave that one a good rip, but it retires the side. 1-2-3 goes the Cougars here in the top of the third inning. Dolphins go into the bottom of the third with a 4-1 lead. Bottom of the third inning here at SIUH Community Park. A 4-1 lead now for CSI as Alfonso Esposito will come out for another inning of relief. Try to keep this game 4-1 as that one misses for a ball, 1-0. Dolphins in the last inning led off with A.J. Vigliotti. He will lead off once again here as he takes a big swing and a miss for a strike. Dolphins lineup will follow, leading off the catcher number 8, Michael Keogh. Batting second in left field, number 23, Brian Burkhead. Now misses for a ball, 2-1. Batting third, the center fielder, number 14, Chris Polomini. Batting fourth and currently at the plate, number 22, the designated hitter, A.J. Vigliotti. He has a 2-1 count. And he'll hit that one foul behind the plate to even the count at 2. Batting fifth and on deck is the first baseman, number 33, Thomas Martin. Batting sixth, the second baseman, number 11, Anthony Cetera. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 9, Vincent Weigel. Batting eighth in right field, number 3, Michael Palermo. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 2, Nicholas Rodriguez. As the count now goes full 3-2 for Vigliotti right here. He worked a walk and would score in the last inning for the Dolphins. So he hits that one, and we'll go back into foul territory once again. That one chopped foul down the third base line. Count will remain 3-2. And that one called for strike 3. Vigliotti down looking to start off the bottom of the third. And there is one away. That'll bring up the first baseman, Thomas Martin. Takes a strike, 0-1. Martin hits this one to third. It'll be a long throw for the first base, but it is in time. Nice strong throw from Michael Cruz, and there's now 2 away. So quickly 2 gone in the inning. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Zatara, who has sacrificed bunt his last time, advancing 2 runners into scoring position. Both of those runners would score eventually for the Dolphins as he takes a strike, 0-1. That one chopped to short. Going to be another tough throw from Brown. And it, once again, scooped by the first baseman, Saunders. Another great scoop at first from Saunders. A low throw from the shortstop, Brown, but it does retire the side. Dolphins go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the third. We head to the top of the fourth inning. Dolphins lead this one 4-1.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela birds it.
An incredible finish by Hall. The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
Top of the fourth inning here at SIUH Community Park. A 4-1 lead still for the Dolphins. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 coming up for the Cougars as they try to get back into this game and trim this Dolphins lead. Leon Lombardi, the left fielder, will lead it off as he hits this one to second. Zatara on to first in time. One pitch, one away here in the fourth. So Lombardi goes first pitch swinging and went right to Zatara on the ground ball. And a nice throw to first base was in time to record the first out. That'll bring up the third baseman, number 33, Michael Cruz. Misses for a ball, 1-0. That one hit the short. Rodriguez on to first in time, and now 2 away. So Keogh has only needed 3 pitches so far to get the first 2 outs of the inning. It'll be up to Christopher Bayo, the catcher, to keep the inning going for the Cougars. That one hit foul. That one in there for a strike, and Keogh now one strike away. Getting out of the inning. This will be his 6th pitch of the inning coming up right here. He need 3 to record the first 2 outs. And he almost got Bio to chase on that one. 1 and 2. And that one swung on and missed for strike 3. So a 7-pitch inning for Michael Keogh right there as he retires the Cougars 1-2-3. We'll now head in to the bottom of the 4th inning. Dolphins lead this one 4-1.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
Bottom of the 4th inning, Dolphins lead this one at 4-1. As they will have 7, 8, and 9 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Weigel, Palermo, Rodriguez. They lead this one 4-1 as they get to tag on some more runs. There's a first pitch strike from Santiago, 0-1. Line score follows. Cougars have 1 hit. 1 run, no errors. That one was fouled, 0-2. For the Dolphins, they have 4 runs on 1 hit, no errors. Oh, 2 now. Now it's softly hit to first. Sarnos will flip on to Santiago, the pitcher. He steps on the bag for the first out of the inning. Santiago got a nice 1-2-3 inning in the 3rd. Gets an early out here at the bottom of the 4th, bringing up now the right fielder, Michael Palermo. Takes this one on the inside for a ball, 1-0. Palermo on the year hitting .267. 5 RBIs, slugging percentage of .333. So he chops that one foul towards his home dugout. Count goes to 1-1. One. Again, chop, this time towards the Cougar dugout. Count now goes to 1-2. A lot of implications here for the Dolphins if they win today's game. Speak more about that later on. As Palermo hits this one into right center field. That's going to go into the gap for a base hit. Palermo routes first. He's heading to second, and he'll be in there sliding with a 1-out double. It just seems as Palermo just continues to get better and better as these games go on for the Dolphins. I mentioned earlier he had the infield single that led to the game-winning run for CSI as he scored on that base hit for the man that's on up to the plate, Nicholas Rodriguez. We'll get a second look at Palermo's double. As Rodriguez has an RBI opportunity right here with one away. Second hit of the game now for CSI. As he takes a strike on the outside, 0-1. Second look at Palermo's double. Into the right field gap. Just no chance for Patino to throw him out at second. As Rodriguez swings and misses, the count goes to 0-2. Rodriguez coming into today's game, hitting .429 with 6 RBIs. Looking for his 7th right here if he can get a base hit. Down the count 0-2. He'll hit this one to short. Brown will throw it on to first, and it's going to be an error. Goes past the first baseman, Saunders. Dolphins will get a run. It's an E6 for the Cougars, and the Dolphins extend their lead now 5-1. So Rodriguez goes into second due to the error. And the Dolphins once again taking advantage of a mistake made by the Cougars. We saw that the last time the two teams met. So an E6 right there. As Keogh will hit this one into right field. Will it stay in fair territory? Goes foul. Second look at that E6 right there. As it goes past the first baseman, Saunders goes near the bullpen of the Cougars, giving the Dolphins now their 5th run of the game. Michael Keogh trying to get it 6 now. Count now 1-1. Low in the dirt for a ball. Throw to second. Not at time. Bio tried to get Rodriguez there at second on a low throw, but would not have gotten him on the play. Count now is 2-1. That one in there for a strike now, 2-2. Santiago now 1 strike away from the second out of the inning. On deck, Brian Burkhead. 2-2. That one just fouled off behind the plate as Keogh keeps the at-bat going. There is action up in the Cougar bullpen. Two once again, just fouled off by Keogh. So he extends the bat one more pitch. Count will remain 2-2. Pickoff attempt at second, and they did not get him in time. Very close play at second as Santiago almost got Rodriguez. Count will remain 2-2. That one misses on the outside. Now count goes full at 3-2. So 3-2 count for Keogh right here. First base is open. That one is called for strike 3. An all-important second out right there for Santiago. And there's now 2 away in the inning. So it'll be up to the Dolphin left fielder Brian Burkhead to extend it. Last time we saw him, he got a 2-run single into left field. giving the Dolphins at that point a 4-1 lead. They now have a 5-1 lead off the error here in this bottom of the fourth. That one in the dirt. Rodriguez thought about going to third. Throw to second, goes behind the shortstop right there, Brown, but Little backed him up. Count is 1-0. Didn't look like they would get Rodriguez anyway if it was a good throw to second. So Burkhead now with a 1-0 count. Sort of hit it past the shortstop and third baseman last time. Has a good sizable gap this time once again. It takes a strike 1-1. There is a gap between the shortstop Brown and the third baseman Cruz. If you were to hit it to that side once again, it certainly would bring home Rodriguez. 1-1. That one ripped into left field but foul. And it's now 1-2. Count now 1-2 for Santiago right here. That one is hit into right field. That might go over the wall. It does! It is gone! It's a two-run homer for Brian Burkhead, and the Dolphins lead 7-1. Brian Burkhead giving that one a shot down the right field line. The Dolphins extend their lead now 7-1 here in the bottom of the fourth. And he gets mobbed at home plate with good reasoning. His team now goes up 7-1 on his home run right there. His first of the season. That right field wall, 318 from home plate, so just getting it over. Giving his team now the 7-1 lead. As Polamini hits this one to short. Going to be a tough play for the shortstop Brown. Low throw to first is in time. And once again scooped by Saunders to retire the side. But not before the Dolphins get another 3 runs of the inning. The big blow. Another big hit for Brian Burkhead. 2-run single earlier, and now this time a 2-run homer. He gives his team now a 7-1 lead as we head to the top of the 5th inning.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
Count is 1-0 as the Dolphins now have a 7-1 lead here in the top of the 5th. Sizable lead now for the Dolphins starter Ryan Keough. Oscar Fajaro swung and missed right there. Count goes to 1-1. This is the final result of the matchup the two teams had last week. Dolphins winning that game 7-1. Count now 1-2. And swung on and missed for strike 3. So an early strikeout here for Keogh here in the top of the 5th. As Fajaro is down for the first out of the inning. That brings up now the shortstop, Sean Brown. That one hit into right center field. Going to be a tough play for Palermo, and he tracks it down to record the second out. Great play in right field from the right fielder, Palermo. And after getting a strikeout to start off the inning on 4 pitches, a 1-pitch second out. Now 2 away. That one hit the third. Weigel will throw it on to first. And that will retire the side. Stephen Young Jr. did not really run full way. Not sure if he thought maybe it was a foul ball as it hit off of him potentially. But nonetheless, the Dolphins get the Cougars to go down 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th. We now head into the bottom of the 5th inning. CSI leads this one, 7-1.
On and off the court, we're focused on creating lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. More college athletes are earning degrees than ever before, but we've still got work to do. That's why we're raising the bar for incoming freshmen, so they're prepared when they get to campus. And why teams can't play in championships unless they make the grade. Education matters, and putting academics first creates a pathway to a lifetime of opportunity.
Bottom of the 5th inning here at SIUH Community Park. And a new pitcher now for the Cougars as Brandon Scalisi is now coming on in relief. He got the start the last time the two teams met. That was taken out. And he now enters with a 7-1 deficit for his team here. Scalisi, early on, I mentioned his stat line for that game. He went 4 innings, allowed 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Also was credited with the balk, as I mentioned earlier, the Dolphins forcing 3 in that game. As he now comes into a 7-1 deficit here in the bottom of the 5th inning. A 4 RBI day so far for Brian Burkhead, a 2-run single into left. Give the Dolphins at that point a 4-1 lead. Then extended the Dolphin inning in the last inning, the last inning for the Dolphins in the 4th. With the 2-run homer, his first of the season. This will be Khaleesi's second appearance of the year. As I mentioned, got the start the last time the two teams met. As he replaces the man that replaced him in last week's contest, Alfonso Esposito. Dolphins will have 4, 5, and 6 in the inning. Vigliotti, Martin, and Cetera. It's very rare that you see the same 3 batters leading off for 3 straight innings. Or I should say 3 of the last 4 innings. The Dolphins went down in the 3rd, 1, 2, 3, with those 3 batting up. For the 3rd time in this game, the Dolphins will have 4, 5, and 6 leading off. First pitch from Scalisi to Vigliotti. Missed for a ball, 1-0. That one hit into right center. Going to be a long run once again, but a great job by the right fielder, Stephen Young Jr. He tracks it down for a long out number one. A long out number one. Vigliotti gave that a good drive into right center. Almost made a case for another home run for the Dolphins. But Young made the catch in front of the wall for the first out of the inning, bringing up the first baseman now, Thomas Martin. One zero misses on the outside, 2-0. So a quick 3-0 count now for Martin here. And they gave Martin the green light on 3-0. He chops it foul. Count now is 3-1. And that one misses on the outside for ball four. A one-out walk forced by Martin. Brings up now the second baseman, Anthony Cetera. That one fouled off towards the first base line. The Cougar dugout, 0-1. That one hit to second. Little will have one play. He'll throw it to first base in time to record the second out of the inning. So advancing the second is the first baseman, Martin. And now gives an RBI opportunity coming up for Vincent Weigel. 2 away in the bottom of the fifth. Trying to extend the Dolphin lead as they lead this one currently 7-1. A long run for Little on that play to track it down, almost going into right field for a single. So it went past Saunders, the first baseman. First pitch missed for a ball, 1-0. That one on the inside missing for a ball, 2-0. That one called for a strike, 2-1. And now 2-1 count here to the Dolphin third baseman. And he rips that one foul down the first base line. And now evens the count at 2. Two swung on and missed for strike 3. So Scalisi gets himself out of the jam, recording that strikeout to retire the side. Dolphins strand a runner at second base. They head into the top of the 6th inning with a 7-1 lead.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends, live sports and watch parties, to Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back here at the top of the sixth inning here with the Dolphins up 7-1. As they look to take all 4 games here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. Go to a 5-4 record on the season. Cougars will have the top of the lineup leading off. It will be Little, Patino Jr., and Saunders. 1, 2, 3 to start off the top of the 6th. As they try to get back into this game. First pitch swinging right there for Little. A grounder to Sotero on to first base in time. 1 pitch, 1 away here. So we've seen here in the last couple of innings, the Cougars have been very aggressive on first pitch. Trying to get something in play, but have not been able to get a hit since that second inning. There's a swing and a miss from Patino Jr., 0-1. That one in there for a strike, and quickly it's 0-2. Keogh's last couple of innings, he's made very quick work of the Cougars hitters. He's on pace to do it once again here in the 6th. 0-2 right here. Skips into the dirt for a ball 1-2. If he's able to keep this pace up, he might have a good bid to go the full distance in this game and save the Dolphins from using any of their relievers. That one ripped foul down the first base line. Count remains 1-2. For both teams, they certainly have well-rested relievers in their bullpens. Dolphins have not played since Sunday, so they've had 5 days off. And for the Cougars, they have not played since last Friday here at the stadium. As that one misses inside 2-2. So they've had 7 days off since their last meeting. They certainly have well-rested arms in their bullpen. Count now is 2-2 to Patino Jr. And it misses now for ball 3. So after a 1 pitch out to start off the inning and then having a quick 0-2 count, Patino Jr. now has worked the count full 3-2. And he is hit by the pitch. So Patino will take first base on the hit by pitch. And the Cougars will have a runner on, 1 away. Now bring up the first baseman, Zach Saunders. He takes that one for a ball, 1-0. Keogh checks the runner at first base. Patino is back in time. Now it misses for a ball, now 2-0. Now the count to Saunders. That one swung on a miss for a strike, 2-1. Keogh had thrown 6 straight before that last strike. She checks the runner at first base. Patino's back in time once again. It's now a 2-1 for Ryan Keogh count here. And he's now misses again. It's now 3-1. So an opportunity for Saunders here to work the second walk of the inning. As Keogh checked the runner once again, did not make the throw. Count remains 3-1. And Saunders will reach first base with a 1-out walk. So after getting the first batter of the inning down on one pitch, Keogh has since hit his next batter and then walked. The previous batter, Saunders, right there, as a mound visit will take place for the Dolphins. So maybe a commentator's jinx earlier on in the inning. I said if Keogh continued his quick pace, he had a good chance to maybe get out of this game with a complete game. But since then, he's had 2 lengthy at-bats. And he's in danger of allowing the Cougars to get some more runs on the board. They'll have first and second one away. Liam Lombardi, the left fielder, up to bat. And obviously for Keogh, a double play ball would certainly get him out of the inning. He would love nothing more if he can get that double play ball. His team leading this one 7-1. First pitch. Swung on a miss for a strike on 1. That one's hit into center field. And it's not going to be a catch. It's a base hit. Bolomini will have a chance to get out of third base, but it will not be in time. So that will go down as a second hit for the Cougars right there. Polomini tried to make the attempt at center field, went off of his glove. And he tried to get the out at third, but to no avail. First pitch missed for a ball, 1-0. We also notice a substitution in the play for the Dolphins. That was Owen Weber, now at third base for CSI. So Weigel comes out of the game. That one foul behind the plate, 1-1. That one hit down the right field line for a base hit. 1 run will score. They'll hold the runner at third base. As in to score was Patino Jr. RBI single for Michael Cruz right there. And it's now 7-2 Dolphins. Third base hit of the game for the Cougars right there. Bases still remain loaded for Caldwell right here. As the catcher Christopher Bayo now up to the plate. And he'll hit this one into center. Will be long enough to bring home the runner from third. Potentially the runner from second to third as well. Polomini will keep the runner from going to second to third. In to score is Zach Saunders from third base, and it's now 7-3 Dolphins. A sacrifice fly for the catcher Christopher Bayo. And it's now a 4-run deficit here for the Cougars. As Oscar Fajardo now comes up here with 2 away. So Caldwell not going away without a fight. Trailing by 6, they now make this 4-run game. And once again, first pitch swinging is Fajardo as he hits that one foul. Now if Fajardo can get on base, he would load the bases for Sean Brown, who would be the tying run at the plate. Cougars not out of this one just yet. 0-1. In there for a strike, and it's 0-2. So Keogh now one strike away from getting out of the jam, keeping his team up 4 runs heading into the bottom of the 6th inning. The 0-2. That one misses for a ball, 1-2. Count now 1-2 for Keogh. That one again misses on the outside now, even in the count at 2. Double action going up in the Dolphin bullpen. And that one swung on and missed for strike 3. So Ryan Keogh will get himself out of the jam to retire the side. Cougars will shred 2 runners on base, but not before they score 2 runs on 2 hits. We head down to the bottom of the 6th inning. Dolphins lead this one, 7-3.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Bottom of the 6th inning here at SIUH Community Park. Dolphins lead now trimmed to 7-3. As the Cougars got 2 runs in that previous half inning on 2 hits. Dolphins looking to get those runs back. They'll have 8, 9, and 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Michael Palermo leading off. He takes the first pitch ball, 1-0. Palermo, Rodriguez, and Keogh for the Dolphins here. Palermo right up the middle for a base hit. Palermo continues his hot stretch as he gets a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 6th. Second hit of the game for him. And now bring up the Dolphins shortstop, Nicholas Rodriguez. There goes Palermo, hit the short. Brown hits it off his glove, has to throw to first base in close play, but does get the out. So no error right there. They do get the out at first, and there's one away. So the Dolphins going with a hit and run attempt right there. It does help them avoid the double play, but even if they did hit and run, it looked like the double play was not going to be in effect as the ball hit off of the glove of the shortstop Brown. Michael Keogh now up to the plate, takes the first pitch, ball 1-0. That last play goes down as a fielder's choice for the Cougars right there. As Keogh hits that one foul down the right field line. count now 1-1. Misses high for a ball, now 2-1. Two one to Keogh. He swings and misses for a strike to even the count at 2. And now 2-2 count for Keogh right here. Scalisi a strike away from a second out of the inning. Keogh gave a little bit of a swing, but held up, and now makes the count full. 3-2 here. First base is open. Scalisi's 3-2. Misses for ball 4. So Michael Keogh was on with a 1-out walk. Gives the Dolphins now first and second, one away, and brings up Brian Burkhead. Burkhead has certainly had himself a day at the plate. 2-run single his first time, 2-run homer his next time up the plate. He's accounted for 4 of the Dolphins' RBIs in this game. Hits this one foul behind the plate, 0-1. And he has an RBI opportunity once again right here. Single would bring home the runner from second in Palermo. Misses high for a ball, 1-1. This is high for a ball. As Bio checking both runners, they go back in safely. It's now 2-1 to Burkhead. Two and one count for Burkhead right here. And he hits this one into center. But right there at the right time is the center fielder, Patino Jr., and it's allowed out number 2, recorded by the Cougars right there. Burkhead looking to make an attempt at getting more RBIs to his stat sheet right there. Good job by Patino Jr. to track that one down. And it'll be up to the Dolphins center fielder Chris Polomini to extend the inning. He'll have first and second, 2 away. The Dolphin that has had himself a great start to the season. He takes the ball 1-0. Polomini hitting .414 coming into today's contest. He's up in the count 2-0. Two and 0 now the count. Dolphins center fielder trying to extend the inning for CSI. As he now goes up 3-0. AJ Vigliotti on deck for the Dolphins. Dangerous spot coming up right here for the Cougars as they try to get out of this inning. And Polomini gets a 4-pitch walk. So that will load the bases for CSI. AJ Vigliotti comes up to the plate. Last time Vigliotti came up to the plate, hit a deep fly ball into right center field. That was a couple of feet away from giving a home run bid. He now comes up looking to extend this Dolphin lead. Cougars trying to keep this game within reach. Vigliotti trying to put the Dolphins in a good position to win this game. So So Scalisi versus Vigliotti here with 2 away. Vigliotti's first pitch swing goes foul behind the plate 0-1. The 0-1 misses for a ball as Bio threw it to first base. Polomini's back in safely. The count goes even to 1-1. Palermo at third. Keogh at second. Burkhead at first. The 1-1. Hit into center field. Patino Jr. originally had it, then called up by his right fielder Stephen Young Jr. He makes the catch and retires the side. Dolphins strand the bases loaded here at the bottom of the 6th inning. They now hit into the top of the 7th inning with a 7-3 lead.
She Aesthetics Med Spa and Wellness Center. Our approach to beauty and wellness begins with a holistic plan tailored to the unique needs of our patients. When we consult with patients, we let them tell us what their problem is. We don't tell them what the issue is. We find out what they're looking for, and we discuss, and then we give them options. If you're looking to achieve radiant skin, you've come to the right place. We offer hydrofacials, microneedling, Opus Plasma, peels, facial and laser treatments, laser hair removal, body sculpting, fat freezing, hormone replacement therapy, Botox, IV drip therapy, and more. We are open Monday through Saturday and are located at 720 Forest Avenue, Staten Island, New York, 10310. We hope to see you soon. Visit our website at www.chiaesthetics.com for more information.
Top of the 7th inning here at SIUH Community Park. A now 7-3 lead for CSI. As in the top of the 6th inning, Caldwell was able to attack on 2 runs on 2 hits. And because of that, the Dolphins go to a pitching change here at the top of the 7th as they go to Antonio Gautreaux. And we saw what Gautreaux did against Holy Family on Sunday, and he got the Dolphins out of a major jam in the top of the 5th inning. Scenario in that spot was bases loaded, 1 away for the Tigers. Gautreaux was able to get back-to-back strikeouts to get the final 2 outs of the inning. Give the rest of the stat line in a second as there's a swing and a miss for a strike, 0-1. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Cougars here. Sean Brown, Stephen Young Jr., and Malik Little. That one hit down the right field line. Will it stay in territory for a catchable play? And a nice sliding catch by the second baseman, Satara, to record the first out of the inning. Satara slided down towards the mound of the bullpen dugout for the Cougars. And before making contact with the wall, made the catch to record out number 1. I'll bring up the right fielder, Stephen Young Jr. Going back to Antonio Gautreaux. After getting the final 2 outs of the 5th inning on strikeouts, he came back out for another inning of relief. He retired the the Tigers in that one. 1, 2, 3. Adding another strikeout to his belt. As he comes into this game, this will be now his 4th appearance of the season. He's pitched 4 1/3, 2 hits, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. So that one was hit to Sotero. He'll throw it on to Martin in time to record the second out. So Gautreau's made quick work so far to record the first 2 outs of the inning. He'll now face the top of the order for the Cougars, and he'll bring up the third baseman, or I should say the second baseman, Malik Little. Gautreau misses for that one for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0. That one hit down the left field line, will be playable. Burkhead on the run. No chance for him to make the play there, foul. One one. This is high for a ball, 2-1. Two and one now the count. Chop towards the mound. Long run for Rodriguez. Throw on to first base is not going to be in time. That will go down as a base hit right there for Little. He'll extend the inning for the Cougars and bring up the center fielder, Christian Patino Jr. I couldn't tell off the bat, but it might have hit Gautreau's glove, which might have made it a slow roller for Rodriguez at short to make the play. So that one hit again into foul territory. Count goes 0-1. Next pitch, we'll get a look at if that ball did hit Gautreau's glove or not. The 0-1. That one in the dirt for a ball. Let's see if it did hit his glove. Tough to tell. Would have been a tough play for Rodriguez either way. 1-1 from Gautreau. That one hit into right center field. Palermo on the run. He tracks it down to record the final out of the inning. Polomini and Palermo both running a long way to record that final out, but it was Palermo that made the catch to retire the side. Caldwell strands a runner on first base here at the top of the 7th. We now hit into the bottom of the 7th inning. CSI leads this one, 7-3. Thomas Martin, first pitch swinging here in the bottom of the 7th inning, And Saunders dropped the ball at first base. So that's going to go down as an E3 for the Cougars right there. We'll get a second look at the replay. It was a good throw to first base from the shortstop, Brown. But Saunders just could not make the catch completely. So after this next pitch, we'll get a second look at that one. Second error of the game for the Cougars. That one is in. Second look at that last play. You see right there, good throw to first base. Saunders just could not make the catch. Ground ball to short, double play opportunity right here. 6-4-3, double play turn by the Cougars, and there's now 2 away. So the error does not harm Caldwell right there. As Brown flipped it to Little, and Little threw it on to first base to Saunders. And there's now quickly 2 away. So I'll bring up Owen Weber. This will be his first at bat of the game. Takes the ball inside 1-0. Weber checked in as a defensive substitution for Vincent Weigel earlier on. He gets his first at bat of this one. Hits this one foul, 1-1. I mentioned earlier, Weber had the Dolphins' first hit of their first game against Holy Family. 2-run single that gave them a 3-2 lead at the time. He swings and misses on that one. The count goes to 1-2. And now 1-2 count here. And that one is called for strike 3. So after the early error to start the inning, a quick double play turned by the Cougars, and then they get the strikeout right there to retire the side. We now head into the top of the 8th inning. CSI leads this one, 7-3.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials, check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
Top of the 8th inning here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. Has been a long day, say the least, as I got my words tied up a little bit on that one. Dolphins lead this one 7-3, and they now go to the bullpen here in the top of the 8th inning. So Michael Santorello is now the new pitcher for CSI. Santorello on the season will be making his second appearance. Has started a game in that one appearance he's had. He now comes out of the bullpen. In that start, he went 3 innings, allowed 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. As he'll face Zach Saunders here to lead off. 3, 4, and 5 coming up for the Cougars. Saunders, Lombardi, and Cruz. A very rare lefty-lefty matchup we have. You don't really see that too often. As Santorello quickly down the count, 2-0. Dolphins 6 outs away from the win. Looking to get their bullpen The bullpen, I should say, trying to hold it down to give Ryan Kehoe another victory on the season. 2-1. That one swung on a miss for a strike. It's now even at 2-2. So Santarello now evens the count at 2. And misses on the outside corner, and it's 3-2. Dolphins still have action up in their bullpen. Count is full at 3-2. And it skips in the dirt for ball 4. So a leadoff walk for the Cougars, and that will bring up the left fielder Liam Lombardi. A lefty-lefty matchup as that one fouled down the third base line. So Dolphins going to their lefty reliever. They face 2 lefties straight for the Cougars, and then it'll be Michael Cruz, the right-handed hitter, on deck. Now one foul behind the plate, now 0-2. Count now 0-2. That one hit the second. Dolphins looking to turn the double play. 4, 6. Not in time to get the double play right there. So they do get one out. It'll be a 4-6 force out at second base. And there's one away. Lombardi just able to reach first. And that'll bring up the third base from Michael Cruz. First pitch missed for a ball, 1-0. Half swing right there. That's now 2-0 for Cruz right here. He hits this one to third, past the diving Weber for a base hit. 5th hit of the game for the Cougars right there. As Michael Cruz is on with a 1-out single. Bringing up the catcher now, Christopher Bayo. And if Bayo were to reach base, it would bring the tying run up to the plate for the Cougars. So first and second, one away. First pitch to Bayo in there for a strike, 0-1. The 0-1. This is high for a ball, 1-1. A 1-1 count now to Bayo. Hits this one foul down the right field line, 1-2. So Santarello now a strikeout, one strike away from recording a strikeout again in the second out of the inning. One, two. Down the third base line, but foul. I mentioned the Dolphins now double action up in their bullpen. They're hoping that Santarello can get them out of the jam here and they can save them for the ninth. The 1-2. Hits a third. Weber on to second for one. Throw on to first will not be in time, as Sotero could not handle the ball. So the out is recorded at second base. That'll be a 5-4 force out right there, and there's now two away. So be first and third, 2 away. Oscar Fajardo coming up to the plate. And he rips a line drive foul down the third base line, 0-1. Santarello 1 out away from keeping this a 7-3 lead for the Dolphins. See, this is on the outside, 1-1. Lombardi is at third. At first is Bio. The count now is 2-1. Cougars trying to trim the deficit. Down 7-3 here in the 8th. So that one's fouled off, and it's now 2-2. So Santarello 1 strike away from getting out of the jam but keeping this a 4-run lead for the Dolphins. 2-2. Misses low and inside, and the count now goes full. So Bio at first base will get the run. 3-2, 2 away. A walk would load the bases. That one's grounded up the middle. That's a base hit. Lombardi will score. RBI single for Oscar Fajardo, and his team now trails this one 7-4. Sixth hit of the game right there for Caldwell. Now will give the Cougars an opportunity to bring the tying run to the plate. That tying run opportunity will come to Sean Brown, the shortstop, and he will face a new pitcher. So we'll see who the new pitcher coming in for the Dolphins is. Santarello is taken out. And we'll get you that new pitcher in just a few minutes as we'll head to a quick commercial break. Dolphins lead now trimmed to 3, 7-4 CSI.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
Dennis Kelly now the new pitcher for CSI here in the top of the 8th inning. As his Dolphins now lead this one 7-4. Oscar Fajardo with an RBI single. Now gives his team now an opportunity with one swing right here from the shortstop Sean Brown to potentially tie this game. Cougars at one point were down 7-1. It is now a 7-4 game, and as I mentioned, they bring the tying run to the plate in Brown. For Dennis Kelly, this will be his second appearance of the year. In his first appearance, he went 2 2/3, allowed 2 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. And his head coach, Mike Morrow, is asking him to get the final out of this inning right here. Dolphins can get the force out at any base right here. But a major opportunity for Caldwell. So major chance right here for Caldwell coming up. The shortstop Sean Brown up to the plate. First and second, 2 away. His team trailing now by 3. He represents the tying run. He'll now face the pitcher Dennis Kelly, who will throw his first pitch right here. Now it misses for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0. That one hit down the right field line. Will it stay in fair territory? Foul ball. Palermo giving that one a good run, but went off the netting in right field towards the dugout. The count now evens to 1-1. Brown were to hit it fair down the right field line. He'll have a great opportunity to potentially bring home both runners. He certainly would bring home one. Could potentially bring home two if you get it fair. His count now even at 1-1. Now it misses low, 2-1. Two one. That one misses again, so Kelly now one pitch away from loading the bases here for Caldwell. Count 3-1. First and second, two away. And it misses on the outside for ball four. So Kelly walks Brown, and it loads the bases now coming up for the right fielder, Stephen Young Jr. So now he represents the go-ahead run at the plate. Tying run is at first for Caldwell. And a deep gapper right here for the Cougars could potentially tie this game at 7. The Dolphin freshman trying to get himself out of this jam and keep his team up 7-4 as he throws a first pitch strike 0-1. Seen a lot of dramatics here at SIUH Community Park. I mentioned the Dolphins' walk-off win on Sunday. Now Dennis Kelly is one strike away from getting out of the bases loaded jam. In that game on Sunday, the Dolphins were able to work themselves out of 3 bases loaded jams. Can they do it again right here? Kelly one strike away from getting a strikeout and retiring the side. That one skips in the dirt. Here comes the runner from third base, and it's going to be safe. Here comes the second runner now. The Dolphins going to pick up the ball. Martin couldn't get the play at the plate. And disaster for CSI. 2 runs will score on the wild pitch, and now the tying run moves to third base. It's a 7-6 lead now for CSI. And now Caldwell with a single can tie this game right here. 5 unanswered runs for the Cougars. The 1-2. That one misses for a ball now, 2-2. The next time we have a chance, we'll get a replay of that wild pitch. It's now a 2-2 count for Kelly. That one's hit high by the plate, out of reach foul. It hits off the top of the press box. Stephen Young Jr. with the tying run on the third. 2 away. 2-2 count. 7-6 lead now for the Dolphins. That one hit into right field. Palermo gives it a run. It's out of reach for a base hit. The tying run will score. Young Jr. is into second base with a game-tying RBI double. And Caldwell has come all the way back from a 6-run deficit to tie this game at 7. And that'll now bring up the top of the order coming up for the Cougars. The Dolphins not able to get the final out of the inning, and that will force a pitching change. That's going to bring up Alex Martinez. Here with 2 away as the Dolphins still looking to record that final out to get him out of the inning. Now here's a replay first of the wild pitch that brought home 2 runs for the Cougars. It skipped past Kehoe. He flipped it back to home plate to the pitcher Kelly. It went past Kelly. And then heads up base running from Caldwell. Thomas Martin, the first baseman, tried to flip it home to get the out at the plate. They could not get it, and that would force 2 runs in. And would also force Sean Brown to go from first to third. And then he would score on this hit right here, an RBI double from his right fielder, Stephen Young Jr., as Michael Palermo could not make the catch. It was out of his reach. And Caldwell has come all the way back from a 6-run deficit to now even this game up at 7. And it'll be up to Alex Martinez now to keep the game tied for CSI. Martinez came in relief in the Dolphins' win on Sunday. He was actually credited with the Dolphin win. He pitched 2 1/3. He walked a batter, but got a huge strikeout to record the second out of that inning. And then got a ground ball recorded to end the top of the 7th and keep the game scoreless, where the Dolphins would win it in the bottom half of the inning. But now he comes in here in the top of the 8th. With this game now evened up, and the go-ahead run for the Cougars is at second base. It'll be the top of the order coming back up for Caldwell, and Malik Little leading off. A game in which it looked like the Dolphins were well on their way to winning. They will now have to try to not only keep this game tied, but we'll have to have more late inning dramatics to try to take back the lead or potentially walk it off. But first things first, they need to get this final out here. Alex Martinez facing Malik Little, 2 away, game tied. As Little hits that one back foul, 0-1. That one almost getting away. Good job by Keogh to track that one down. Count goes to 1-1. Cougars being able to do all this damage with 2 outs also, keep in mind. 1-1. In there for a strike, 1-2. So the Dolphins are 1 strike away from once again having an opportunity to get out of the inning. Can Alex Martinez get them that final strike right here? The 1-2. And that one will hit the batter. So Malik Little will reach first base on the hit by pitch. And probably a break for the Dolphins, is if it did not hit Little, that one would have went back to the backstop and would have forced the runner at second to go to third. Instead, now makes it first and second with 2 away. And Christian Bettino Jr. now will have the opportunity to try to give Caldwell the lead. Caldwell led first early on with a 1-0 lead in the second inning. So that one's fouled off. That lead, they would lose in the bottom half of the inning. The Dolphins would attack for 4 runs in the bottom of the second. Caldwell has come back now from a 6-run deficit with 4 here in the 8th. Count 0-1 to Patino Jr. That one in there for a strike, 0-2. So count now 0-2 to Patino Jr. Martinez looking to get a strikeout right here. The 0-2. On the outside corner, but misses for a ball, 1-2. Count now 1-2. Now it misses on the outside now, 2-2. So back-to-back pitches on the outside corner for Martinez, trying to get Patino to chase. Now it evens the count at 2. 2-2, 2 away. 2 men on for the Cougars. That one hit foul. Another 2-2. Misses low for ball 3. So the count now goes full at 3-2. Both runners will advance on this next pitch. Can Patino get on base, or can Martinez get the final out? The 3-2. In there for strike 3. And the Dolphins escape the jam as Martinez gets the final out of the inning. But not before the Cougars attack for 4 runs here in the top of the 8th. We now head into the bottom of the 8th inning. This game knotted up at 7 apiece.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experiences possible.
Apologize for the delay as we were having a conversation about the stats, but I'm being told I should say this sentence, but the Cougars have clawed their way back. We are tied at 7 apiece. 6 unanswered runs for Caldwell. 4 coming in the top of the 8th inning. The Dolphins did get a leadoff base hit from Michael Palermo. Brings up Nicholas Rodriguez. Could it be deja vu once again for the Dolphins? If you don't remember the scenario that happened on Sunday, Palermo got an infield single, which he just did right there. He got a single to shortstop. He would then advance to second as he got a stolen base. Then Nicholas Rodriguez would hit a base hit into right center field for the walk-off. He shows bunt right there, misses 1-0. And keep in mind, Rodriguez in that at-bat also showed bunt early on in the at-bat, but then went down to count 1-2. He bunts right here, he lays it down. Scalisi will flip it on to Saunders in time for the first out of the inning. Dolphins do now get the go-ahead run into scoring position. So the top of the order comes up now for Michael Keogh. So Keogh now has the go-ahead run in scoring position here with 1 away. 7-7 the game. We're in for another thrilling finish here. So that one misses outside for a ball, 1-0. Keogh has a 1-0 count. Takes that one for a strike, 1-1. On deck for CSI, Brian Burkhead. Can Keogh get on? Potentially give the Dolphins back the lead. The 1-1. That one misses for a ball, 2-1. That one hit a mile high. That will stay in the infield. As it goes just a little bit into the outfield as Malik Little, the second baseman, makes the play. And there's now 2 away. So it'll be up to Brian Burkhead here with 2 away. Burkhead responsible for 4 of the Dolphins' 7 runs. 2-run single, 2-run homer. Has a chance for a 5 RBI day right here. Go ahead run at second for the Dolphins. 2 away. And he wanted an RBI right there as he swings and misses for a strike, 0-1. Burkhead looking to do some damage right here. Gives CSI back the lead. The 0-1. Misses high for a ball, 1-1. The 1-1. Burkhead hits this one into center, but it will be playable for the center fielder, Patino Jr. He makes the catch and retires aside. Dolphins trying to run her on second. We now head into the top of the 9th inning. Game tied at 7 apiece.
Your college sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
Count 1-1 to the Caldwell Cougars first baseman, Zach Saunders. And he drills this one into right field. Long run for Palermo. It is gone! Caldwell takes the lead. Zach Saunders with a home run just over the right field wall. And Caldwell leads it 8-7. Talk about a turn of events here. Caldwell down 7-1 in this game, has now scored 7 unanswered runs. As that one took a bounce right off the top of that right field wall. And Caldwell has now taken the lead here in the 9th inning. All the momentum going in the way of Caldwell right now. They have scored 7 unanswered runs, and all in the late stages of this game. 2 in the 6th, 4 in the 8th, and now that solo blast here in the 9th to give them the 8-7 lead. That one hit up the middle. That's going to get through for a base hit. Leon Lombardi is on with a single right after the home run. Now bring up the third baseman, Michael Cruz. Cruz immediately showing bunt. Let's take a strike 0-1. So the Dolphins will now have to go into the bottom of the 9th inning, and they will have to hope that first they can keep this game within reach. It's a 1-run game now. As Martinez checks Lombardi at first. Dolphins trying to keep this a 1-run game and try to either tie it or walk it off in the 9th. Still looking to record the first out of the inning. So that one's in there. The count goes to 0-2. Give credit where it's due to the Cougars. Brandon Scalise, since coming out of the bullpen, has retired the Dolphins in order. 4 scoreless innings. They're just facing this lineup last week. That's a ground ball to short. Cruz lost the bat as well, and he will get thrown out of first base, so it'll be a 6-3 fielder's choice right there, recorded by the Dolphins, and there's one away. So Cruz losing a grip of the bat on that previous at bat right there. Thankfully, the bat wasn't thrown just far enough to hit anyone, as Rodriguez, the shortstop, made the play to first. Butter advancing to second base is Lombardi, and there's now one away for Christopher Bayo. Bayo will be one of the runners that scored on that wild pitch the previous inning for Caldwell as he takes a strike 0-1. That one misses for a ball, 1-1. The 1-1. On the outside for a strike, now 1-2. On the outside for a ball, now 2-2. Two. And it misses high now. Full count, 3-2. First base is open. And that one is swung on a miss for strike 3. A low breaking ball from Martinez as he got Bio to chase that one out in front. And there's now 2 away. So we'll bring up Oscar Fajardo here with 2 away. He got himself an RBI hit his last time up. Just takes that one on the outside for a strike, 0-1. Fajardo hits that one foul behind the plate. And it's now 0-2. Dolphins at the bottom of the ninth will have Polomini, Vigliotti, and Martin. And down swinging is Fajardo to retire the side. Caldwell does strand a runner on second in the inning, but not before Zach Saunders hitting a go-ahead solo home run as he now gives his team the lead for the first time since the second inning. We head into the bottom of the ninth. Dolphins will try to tie or walk it off. They trail this one, 8-7.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
Ground ball to short. Great play by Brown. Throw to first is in time. And what a start to the inning for Caldwell, as they are now 2 outs away from the win. There's 1 away. Chris Polomini gave that one a rocket to shortstop. And a big play from Sean Brown right there. And once again, the first baseman, Zach Saunders, with a great scoop. And Caldwell is now 2 outs away from a come-from-behind victory. Brandon Scalisi on for one more inning of relief. He's now 2 outs away from victory as he gets a strike on A.J. Vigliotti, 0-1. So the Dolphins get a walk-off win on Sunday. Can they tie or walk it off here in this inning? They need to get a base runner on first as Vigliotti's behind the count now, 0-2. The 0-2 from Scalisi. Now a hit out in front to short. Another play for Brown. He'll throw on to first in time. And Caldwell is now 1 out away from the come-from-behind win. There's 2 away. So it'll be up to Thomas Martin here with 2 outs. The Cougars 1 out away from getting their first win of the season. Nobody on, 2 away. It'll be up to the first baseman, Martin. First pitch to him. That one misses high and outside, 1-0. The 1-0. That one hit high and shallow into left field. Cougars having a tough time tracking the ball down, but it's the shortstop Brown that makes the play. And he forces all 3 outs here in the 9th inning, and that will do it here from Staten Island University Hospital Community Park as the Cougars come back from a 7-1 deficit and defeat the Dolphins 8-7. Zach Saunders getting the game-winning home run in the top of the 9th inning to give his team an 8-7 lead. And how about Brandon Scalisi out of relief, not allowing a run out of the bullpen as he gives his team their first win of the season, a 6-run deficit they come back from as they take the final game of the Dolphins' homestand here at SIUH Community Park with this 8-7 win. The Dolphins, with this loss, now drop to 4-5 on the season. And this is one that will certainly sting for CSI, a game in which it looked like they had all but wrapped up. A 7-1 lead going into the 6th inning. Cougars would get 2 more runs off of Ryan Kehoe. Then would attack for 4 in the 8th to tie the game. And then Zach Saunders with a home run just off the top right field wall to give his team the 8-7 win. So a heartbreaker for CSI right here as they drop to 4-5. Caldwell goes to 1-1. For the Dolphins, the next time they will be in action will be this upcoming Wednesday as they have a doubleheader with the Lightning of Goldie Beacom. First game getting underway at the baseball complex at 12 o'clock. So the Dolphins will continue their homestand. They have games on Wednesday, doubleheader against Dominican on Friday, and a doubleheader against Chestnut Hill on Saturday. All first games starting at 12 o'clock, and all games will be at the CSI baseball complex. And then for the men's team, let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, the men's basketball team. They will be playing in their semifinal on Sparkill, New York on March 9th, this upcoming Saturday, so tomorrow afternoon, I should say, at 3 o'clock. Dolphins will take on Damon University. So Dolphins look to punch a ticket to the finals of the men's basketball championship tournament. So make sure you tune on into the ECC network to see if CSI can pull off the win against the Wildcats and move on to the finals. But for all of us here at CSI Sportsnet, that will do it from Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. Once again, the final score, Caldwell comes back from a 7-1 deficit to defeat the Dolphins 8-7 as the Cougars get their first win of the season. For all of us here at CSI Sportsnet, this has been Nicholas Bavona. Thank you for joining us here for today's broadcast between the Dolphins and the Cougars. Have a great rest of your day and enjoy your weekend as well.